everybody, how's it going? Jack here again with another Loopy Pro video. In today's lesson, we're going to be taking a look at 3 different ways you can record drums into Loopy Pro. If you want to follow along with me, then please check the link in the description where you can access the template file from the last episode where we left off. You'll also be able to access the template file from the end of this lesson if you want to check some of your settings against mine. Or you can download my fully featured template with all the bells and whistles that I use day to day if you want to just have a play around with that. As well as the templates, a very good friend of mine, Miguel Andrews, who is a fantastic drummer, has very kindly let us use a couple of his one-shots and drum loops from his amazing sample pack for us to get going and use in this tutorial. You will have access to those yourself if you download the templates, so please check that out down below. If you're digging some of the loops that you hear, then please go and support him. There's a link in the description below for where you can get access to his full sample pack. Now let's get going. Okay, for option number 1, I'm going to be loading in 4 individual one-shot samples directly into Loopy Pro. I'm then going to configure it so that I can record those one-shots into a particular clip color. So to start with, I'm going to click on this pencil icon down in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm going to select this square clip, which is 2 in from the left-hand side. I'm going to move it just so that it looks a little neater. And then for now, I'm done with the edit page. Now we've got this square clip, but it's not got anything in it. The first thing we need to do is load in one of our one-shot samples. So I'm going to swipe up on that clip. Now you'll see it recorded a little bit of audio there, but that's okay because we're about to load a sample in, which will get rid of that. So to load in a sample, you need to click this downwards arrow with a little square around it. I've already set up a folder with my samples in it called Template Episode 3. Again, you'll be able to have that if you want to download it yourselves. Let's click on that, click on kick. Now we want to load it in, but we don't need it to be 2 beats long. Let's go for 1 beat and import. Now if we test that sample, you can hear the kick drum. Now if I quickly press that kick drum, it's going to cut off. Now that's not really what we want from a one shot. So I'm going to show you how to change that now. We need to go back into the edit clip page. So we're going to swipe up again. We are going to come down to the playback settings here. Now we're going to click override. What that means is for this specific clip, we're going to override the generic playback settings from our entire template. We don't want it to affect every single clip in the entire template, so we're not doing a global playback setting change here. This is just specifically for this clip. So let's engage. And we want to come down to hold to play and turn that off. If we go back and press it now, it will play that kick drum for the duration of that sample. Now, one other setting I like to have on is a quantize feature within Loopy Pro. It's under those play settings. If you look at play quantization, we're going to go across to custom. And I'm going to change that from 1 bar down to a 16th note, which I find gives me enough flexibility, but keeps it nice and tidy. Okay, so that's our kick drum. The nice thing now is we've done all of our adjustments to the settings. If we want to just duplicate that clip, and then we will load in these samples for the next 3 drum sounds. Now we're going to go back to the pencil icon. Just before I start to duplicate this sample, I want to do one more thing, which is to change the clip color here. I actually want it to have its own clip color. So let's go to the paint bucket along this gray bar at the bottom in the middle. We're going to click the plus icon, and it's created this purple color, which we haven't used in the template previously. Once I've got that selected, if I just click kick drum, it will change that to purple. If we click this mesh looking symbol just here, it will go back to the standard edit page. And now I'm going to click and hold on the kick drum, click copy, click and hold just to the right, paste, paste, and paste. So we've got 4 kick drums. Of course, we don't want 4 kick drums. We're going to load in the samples we want now. So swiping up on kick, let's bring in a snare. Let's change it to 1 beat and import. Check that works. Nice. Let's bring in a hi-hat. And a stick cymbal sound. Now you'll notice that hi-hat is a little loud. We can do a bunch of customizations in the same menu. So let's swipe up on the hi-hat. You'll see the volume here. I'm going to drop that quite considerably. Let's drop that, say, 10 dB. Go back and test it out. That's sounding pretty good to me. Now at the moment, it's not being recorded anywhere or going anywhere. So I can play along, but I want to be able to record that. So let's go to the mixer. Down in this bottom left-hand corner, we're going to open the mixer. We're going to go across to the purple channel, which I have now set up for all my one-shots. And where it says output 1 and 2, which of course we want because we want to be able to hear it, I also want it to go to, let's choose the blue clip. So now I can record those one-shot samples to the blue clip on my template. Let's give that a quick go just to check that it's working. So I'm going to press play. I've got a metronome in my ear, record on the donut and go for it. So that's using one shot inside a Loopy Pro, recording it to the blue clips. You can of course configure that differently, but that's just a nice little way of getting going quickly. Now, option number 2, if you're not particularly comfortable with finger drumming or programming drums, is to use a drum loop. Now the advantage of this of course is you get all of the lovely feel, dynamics and skill of a real drummer, and it can inspire you to play certain things and perform better. So let's have a look at how to do that. I'm going to click on the pencil icon. And this time I'm going to click another donut here. I'm going to drag this to the right hand side. Close the edit page, and just like before, I'm going to swipe up and import from our folder this 90 reel-to-reel drums sample that Migs has kindly let us use. Now this is the 2-bar loop at 90 BPM. I'm going to import that, and I'm going to change our project file to 90 BPM to match that drum loop using the slider we created in episode 2. Now if I press play and then toggle that on, you can hear an awesome sounding drum loop right there. And that drum loop has probably been mixed and mastered at quite a high volume. It's a little loud for me in comparison with my guitar, so I'm going to do the same as I did earlier, and I'm going to bring the volume down. Let's go with, say, 5 dB. Let's press play and see if the guitar matches up with the drum loop volume-wise. Sounds pretty good to me. Now option number 3, which you may have seen in many of my other videos, is to use a sampler such as Koala Sampler. I load my drum sounds into there. I can use the fact that it has some MIDI programming involved to help me quantize and arrange different things. It's a very powerful standalone app, Koala Sampler. It can do so much, but for the demonstration purposes of this video, I'm just going to show you how to load in a couple of drum sounds. So the first thing we're going to need to do is go to the mixer. And we're going to click this plus icon in the bottom right hand corner. And this time we're going to add an audio unit input. And here you can see all of the audio units that I have on my iPad. Now let's click Koala Sampler. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is click Destinations. And this is all the different clips that it could record to, different clip colors. I don't want it to go to any of them, so I'm going to click None. Now let's create a button to open and close Koala from our template. I'm going to click the pencil icon, create a button. I'm going to move that over here. Let's click on that button, and when we press it, we want it to open an audio unit interface, and the target that we are going to select is Koala Sampler. We're going to go back and then name this Koala and give it a color. Let's go for this sort of brown color. Okay, now if I press that button, it will load Koala. If we resize the window so that you can see the button on the outside of the Koala window, it allows me just to press that button and toggle it open and closed. Now we need to get some samples in here. So let's click the samples button. Koala comes with some samples, so if you own Koala, you can follow along and you can load these samples in. Let's just go basic. I've just had a little listen to a few samples inside of Koala, and this Louch kit number 1 is quite nice. We're going to use a few samples from there. We've got this kick drum, which we will drag into the first square. We've got a nice snare. And let's try a hi-hat. Let's do a closed hi-hat. And then we'll close the sample page. We've just got a kick, snare, and hi-hat. Now to demonstrate how I use Koala, I'm going to quickly just record a little 2-bar bass loop and then show you how it works. A metronome is going in my headphones. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe a little bit of guitar as well. Now if we open Koala, we have our kick drum, snare, and hi-hat. I'm going to go to the sequence window. I'm going to hit the record, and let's just record in some kick drums. Maybe a snare on 2 and 4. Some hi-hats. And you'll see the Koala just follows. You can turn the bass line off. Go back to Koala Sampler. We can record a different arrangement here. Now, a couple of settings in Koala that we need to mess with. If you go to this sequence window and you click where it says 90 BPM currently, it's grayed out because it's following the tempo of my template. And there's a couple of things. You'll notice I've got quantize on, which I want, and sequence snap. I actually want that to be sequence end. What that means is, if I press play again, it will wait till the end of the sequence before it triggers the next sequence. So if I press it now, it will wait until the end. Have some fun, right? So that's 3 different ways you can play around with drums inside of Loopy Pro. We've got one-shots, drum loops, and using something like Koala Sampler. As always, this is just scratching the surface. There's so much more you can do with Loopy Pro, and things like Koala you can do so much with. But hopefully this gives you a little taster of a few options. As mentioned at the start of the video, if you want to download any of these templates or some of the drum samples I used for today's video, please check out the link in the description below. Please consider liking and subscribing, as it really does help me out and help me grow this channel. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Thanks everybody, see you in the next video. Take care.